now, and that is the University of Michigan, and their football program is under investigation for alleged sign stealing, a scheme that is happening under head coach Jim Harbaugh, but centered around a staffer named Connor Stallions. Reports say he bought tickets to future Michigan opponents' games over the last 3 seasons. A lot of other details coming out there. Used his personal credit card, bought the tickets under his own name, etc., etc., Jake. But as a Michigan alum, when you hear some of the details about this, where does your mind go?
It's really here, my gut, my heart a little bit, because regardless of how this plays out, I think, this gives ammo to your enemies and your opponents to say, well, this is why you've been so successful. And I completely disagree with that. And I think this whole situation, it's unnecessary to have been here. Something that's gotten lost, though, that was initially reported, that is an extremely important distinction, because videos are going around Twitter right now of the accused, Connor Stallion, holding up a laminated picture and talking to the staff. That does not prove anything. Sign stealing is not illegal. You can steal signs from film. You can steal signs from TV copies. So the videos going around prove nothing illegal. And I know this is a crazy thing to say in the world of social media. I would like to wait and see how this investigation plays out. I know some of the optics look poorly, Joshua. I get that. I totally get that. But I still think we have to see more details firmly be proved before I start to exercise judgment. And I'm going to say the line is very clear here. So I'm not justifying anything. Rules are important and they need to be followed. You can campaign against them another time. But I do want to see some more details come out before I start to exercise stronger judgment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. Like, I think it would be harsh to jump to judgment, particularly with the rest of the coaching staff and with Jim Harbaugh. I don't think that it's crazy to say that Connor Stallions was completely out of line. He bought the tickets. They have proof of that. They have proof that he used his credit card to buy these tickets. He was transferring them to people. All of these things are traceable. And I know some people out there, tinfoil hats on the social media were, oh, well, maybe he was just getting these tickets to his friends. Okay, so he was buying tickets for opposing schools for his friends, but only for games where Michigan is getting ready to play these teams, not teams that they've already played or national games, plus the ones that he bought on Saturday, which when he's buying sets of 2 tickets, they're on opposing sidelines right around the 45-yard line. And the one Saturday, nobody used. Why didn't they use him? He was just buying the tickets for his friends. Like, I think it is very simple for us to say that Connor Stallions was a bad actor. What we don't know is how much Jim Harbaugh knew, how much anybody else on that staff knew. And the fact of the matter is that sign stealing at its core is not illegal. So what we did see on video on the sideline looked very coordinated. It looked like he was very confident in what he was seeing, but a lot of people have done this. Brent Venables was famous for doing this when he was at Clemson, defensive coordinator. He would wait until the last second to call in the defense. His guys would be scrambling to get set, but they always had an idea of what was coming. And that gets us to the next question, is when we talk about stealing signs as a player, how big or how small of an advantage do you think it really gives?
One thing I hear going around here is like the Houston Astros get brought up. And what I think makes football such a great sport is the amount of variables that you have going on. It's 11 on offense, 11 on defense. There's infinite number of possibilities that can happen on a play, whereas baseball, it is a massive advantage to know if you're facing a fastball or a curveball or a slider or whatever. Football, I can have the perfect play called in football, and that defensive end can go blow it up right away. Execution matters. You can have wrinkles off a play. There's so many variables in football. This does matter. To know if you by chance know the play of your opponent, that absolutely does matter and play an advantage. But I think it's being blown out of proportion, and I think some people are saying that all of Michigan's success in recent years can be credited to the fact that somehow they believe and are being accused of knowing signals.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I think you have to execute. I would say the same thing for the baseball scenario. You know the fastball is coming, you still got to hit it, right? Like, it gives you an advantage, but you still have to be able to execute it. This is what I would tell you, is the more and more I've thought about this, the more and more I've gotten to, it is a big advantage. First off, I start with the idea that this guy went to extreme lengths to be able to do what he did. It shows you how valuable he thought that information was. as a defensive player, even knowing if it's a run or a pass pre-snap gives me a big advantage. If I know it's a quick pass versus a 3 or 5 step drop, that gives me an advantage. If I know it's inside run versus outside run, that gives me an advantage. If I know it's max protection versus a 5-man protection, that gives me a big advantage. So I do think that there are advantages built in. I think the biggest part about it is executing. But I'll leave you with this as food for thought, is to me, you could have an argument that a 21-point win, a 3-touchdown victory, comes down to 6 plays. 3 that you scored on and 3 that you stopped the other team from scoring on. And I think that's what some people are trying to figure out, is how many plays could have been affected in a game like this.
Look, whether there's 100 different ways to figure out whether it's a run or a pass, and that's been going on since the beginning of time. A good linebacker should look at the weight of the stance.
Sure.
There's ways to know that too. Also, stealing side, you have a limited amount of time. Like, you're trying to get your play call in and communicate. Again, I'm not downplaying this, and I want to see more information come about, but I'm somewhere in between the two extremes on this, and I'm waiting to see. So I'm sure we're going to talk. Go ahead.
I want to be clear, too, because I'm playing devil's advocate on a lot of this. I think players have to make the plays. I think this can help. It can be helpful, but this is not the only factor.
Yeah.
And when you get beat, you got to look at yourself in the mirror as much as you look at the other team and what they may be doing too.
Flat out, you're completely right. And at the end of the day, it is helpful, but it's not everything. So
Bingo.
You're exactly right.